So here goes episode 3 for Project Defiance here. Where we left off the last one is we got the whole cab actually stripped and prepped, ready to start laying tubes. Where this one's gonna start out is we're gonna be cutting holes in the floors, get ready for actual tubes to go through to the frame. We've got everything cleaned up and ready to go. We've got all the glass removed, and yeah, let's start chopping away. So one of the things right here with the TE Designs cab cage is right here we have the front body mount. I've already got it removed. And one of the things is this right here will actually end up bolting up, and the bottom of it will get welded to a couple tubes that'll lay right there and actually go into the frame. And then that's gonna make it really easy to get some good tie-ins to the actual engine cage up here. So let's go and get that chopped up. Okay, well, now that's all cleaned up. It's almost like it was never even there. So that's all prepped, ready to go, ready for a tube to actually drop in. And the next time you'll see me, it'll be daylight. And it's daytime again. So today for the truck, kind of what we're gonna be doing is cutting holes into the floorboard. That way the tubes can actually pass through. I already did the front one. That's how I landed that first tube that you saw in the previous video. And I'm gonna be going and doing the rear one, so those tubes can also pass through to the frame rails. And then we can really start landing tubes. That's kind of exciting. Things I did is I actually lowered the truck. I think that's gonna be making it easier to actually be in and out of here over and over for the time being. And so here we have our hole on this side, so you go straight through to the frame rail, and over on that side, over in that corner, and over in that corner. These are gonna be for the A-pillars. They actually go up all the way over and out the back. I know I've explained that before. Those will be the first ones we land. But one of the first things we do is I'm gonna start getting these prepped and actually get this coating off the outside, get them ready to actually get welded in, because the idea is after they get landed is they're gonna be getting tacked into place. Worth noting with these TE Designs kits that's kind of cool is everything's all etched in there, so I can see there's another tube that's going to land right there and another one that's going to hit at an angle right there. And then same thing for right here. There's your B pillar and another couple tubes right here. So it's all laid out for you, so you know exactly where to prep before you actually get it in there. So next, let's get that first tube landed again. Alright, so I kind of hit a little bit of a speed bump. I can't get anything tapped in with the cab cage until I get the body of the truck 100% level. So in order to do that, for one, I had the plans of changing out the body mounts to these solid body mounts, and at the time, nobody had made them for this year's truck. I went through Mayhem Motorsports, he sent these out. We went through multiple runs of 3D printing these, which was kind of cool. So printed them out, tried them out, bam, finally found ones that fit absolutely perfect. And then that made the final product here. We went to a billet aluminum that's actually machined. So I guess you'd call these kind of like a puck. So it dropped right into where the stock body mount would have, and bam, bolts in, and now you have a solid mounting point. So the reason you would do that is basically because it's a cab on frame kind of design. you want to make sure that nothing's moving independently. So even like a lot of people tie in the cab cages to, you know, all around A, B, C pillars, and that helps, absolutely. You totally want to do that. But the more you can get this not moving independently from the frame, it keeps stuff like that from tearing inside the cab. So super important right there. And then another kind of interesting thing that I decided to do is the stock ones are 2 inches high on this top side here. So I actually got them custom done to be 1 inch shorter than they would have been, which will drop the entire cab about 1 inch from its, I guess, stock ride height. So in my opinion, that's sort of what I like. It's kind of the devil in the details of these little things that are like, okay, cool, well I can get a lower ride height without messing with my suspension geometry. So let's go ahead and get these installed real quick. There's the stock one right there. These are all meant to kind of have a little bit of give and let the cab move freely. And then here's the puck. Lands right there. And now there's no movement at all. Alright, and then just repeat that 4 times. Alright, and there we go. So there we have our build body mounts. We got 4 of them. The front one, obviously, we're replacing with the cage underneath. You see it's got this bottom end that goes and sandwiches down. So those are pretty sweet. Now the cab's gonna sit nice and low on there. One of the things about these junctions right here is you can actually go and tuck that weld in right there before that tube lays on top. So you actually have a weld that goes all the way around that back tube right there. And then these go in sequence like that. Guys, where I last left off, I had just gotten the roof tubes all tacked in, and well, as you can clearly see, I've gotten a little bit further from that. So I had a friend come over and he helped me out, and I paid him to do the final welding all over what I had tacked. So in the end, he comes out and he does a much higher quality weld than I can pull off. I know it's gonna be much stronger in the end, and it's gonna look way better. So I'm gonna go show some shots of that real quick. So, as you can see, we got the whole roof in, everything's all final welded. nice passes all around here. Just everything. Just getting that extra security by having somebody able to go and do this thoroughly and properly just made me feel a lot better. I just know I can get everything level and ready to go. So next up, I'm actually gonna start working on these intrusion bars tonight, trying to fit in the little bit of time that I have after work. So let's get started on that. All right, and next up right here, we're gonna be mounting these tubes on this lower section here. That way this A pillar can land right here, and then the B pillar lands on top of it too. And then right here, it actually connects to the frame. So we're gonna prep that frame and I'll show you kind of a cool trick for doing that. All right, so the trick to this is get your blowtorch like that. And just heat it up. And then you take this rag right here, soak it in gasoline. And it just takes it right down to bare metal like that. That freaking trick saved my life. mentioning is with these door bars, they were gonna have to get these door panels trimmed for them to clear. I was able to actually change this notch up here to where this sits a little cocked and instead dodges the door panel. So that's why right now I have the door closed, so I'm attacking in place like that. We're coming to a finish here. Right now we're gonna go through and get all of these gussets in here, and they're gonna go in all of these 90-degree corners like that, and one for that side. So let's go around and get those done.
That's about it for the cab cage here. It's all in, everything's all final welded. Just looks awesome. Whole roof, everything's 360 welded. We dropped it down to get that done. And yeah, couldn't be more stoked on this. The only adjustments I really had to make were for personal preference. Like these door bars right here, we're gonna have to get these door panels trimmed. Instead, I actually managed to make them clear. So that's really cool. And then the other things is back here, this normally has tubing that goes across here, like so. So normally it was set up to have tubing, which is stronger, but again, this isn't a race vehicle. Being able to have occupants that actually come in and out of here seems to be more what I want out of this. And say right here, I had to make my own gussets to kind of finish that off. I may do one tube that kind of drops down right here to that B pillar, but that's kind of to be determined. But right now, I couldn't be more stoked. This whole cage went together way easier than I thought it would be. Not to say by any means this was easy. It's a absolute ton of work. Everything needs to get sealed in now. We are not done, but we're pretty far along. So next is getting this all tied into the engine cage, and then we can get to putting the dash in. All right, well, I think that's gonna just about do it for episode 3 on Project Defiance here. It ended up taking a lot more than I had originally anticipated. I'm borrowing a welder. The first welder I had borrowed ended up not working, so I had to go and borrow a different welder, and that was just a whole part of the process. The other thing was trying to find the right guy to come through and finish off the welding. That ended up being Dylan Caldwell. He absolutely killed it, and I couldn't be more stoked. He's gonna be back out, and he's gonna have his hands on the whole truck. With that being said, from here, the cab cage, what we have left to do is putting the seat mounts in. I'm having that be a separate episode where we actually install the seats, steering wheel, dash, all of that fun stuff. So that'll be a different section, but as far as for this portion, the cab cage is complete. We'll be moving on to the engine cage next and doing the front long travel kit, which is super exciting. That kit right now is at powder coat. I should be picking it up this next week, and again, I could not be more stoked for that. I feel like the long travel kit is one of those really exciting parts, one of those core parts that makes the truck. So with that being said, that's where we're going from here. Also, I added in the last episode, if anybody had any questions, to ask them, and I'll go through and answer them. From the last video, I had Chris asked, why didn't you sell the truck the way you had it and buy a stock truck to do this? I would say that would be a good idea. That's just not the way I went with this truck. I bought it when I was 22 years old, brand new off the dealership lot. I've owned it for 8 years, so I guess it has a certain amount of sentimental value to it. It's the truck I was originally building, and I kind of want to see it go to the end. And that's where I feel like this is taking it, is to that point that there's no turning around now. So with that being said, I was able to sell a lot of the parts and kind of recoup a lot of cash when it came to selling the long travel kit, the front fenders, the rear bed sides, axles, all sorts of aftermarket stuff that I had originally bought for the kind of previous rendition of the truck. Was able to kind of
turn into a lot of cash that's able to go into this portion of the truck. So I'm not sure it was that bad of an idea. Also, the other thing is that a lot of the parts that I had bought already were for this truck. So I could have sold those, yes. If I were to have bought a different truck, I probably would have gone with a older model year in order to recoup a little bit more cash, probably like an 07 to 13 Chevy instead. So with that being said, on this video, if you want to ask any questions on the next one, I'll go through and answer those. And yeah, keep watching along, and I hope to see you on the next one.